Hello everyone, welcome to The Positive Life. Today I have a special pick a card reading for you guys. This is going to be all about messages from your shadow self. So earlier this morning I was in my zone and I received a message, or I was told to do this reading for you guys. I feel like whenever I am led to share a message with you guys, I don't hesitate. I listen to my intuition and the messages from, spirit or the higher being, and I let you guys know what those messages are. So, so just to let you guys know, if you don't already, your shadow self refers to parts of yourself, whether it's your personality traits, your emotions, your thoughts that are difficult to accept. So this is a part of ourselves that we repress and we kind of hide behind our closets. And usually when you hear about doing shadow work or working with your shadow self, it's working with the aspects of ourselves that we don't necessarily like, or our ego doesn't like, or we don't want to accept. And so working with those aspects, nurturing them and loving every aspect of ourselves for who we are regardless, that's where the healing and transformation begins. And so I feel like Spirit wants you guys to receive messages from your shadow selves, see what you need to release, see what you need to nurture and work on. So I'm excited to dig right in with you guys. So as you can see, we have 3 piles here. We've got card 1, card 2, and card 3. So go ahead and take a moment and meditate on which card resonates with you. I will include the timestamps below, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, pile 1. If you chose pile 1, this is your reading. These will be the messages from your shadow self. All right. So let's see what the first message, what message is coming your way first, okay? Compassion. So it looks like that your shadow self wants you to be more compassionate with yourself, to not beat yourself up. Maybe when things don't go your way, you beat yourself up on it, right? You're like, dang it, like, what's wrong with me? Like, what the heck is going on? I'm the problem, or what did I do type thing. And your shadow self wants you to know to don't beat yourself up, to be more kind to yourself. We just need to, so with that, be more compassionate. You need to love yourself more, right? Be more kind. Self-love isn't all about, ice cream and pedicures. We've got to be more kind to ourselves, to our soul, to our selves that we don't necessarily accept or like, So let's see what else is coming your way. All right, let's see what other messages are coming. Manifest. So your shadow self wants you to know that when you are kind to yourself, you are able to release old things that you're holding on to, release the past, release binds that you are still holding on to. And when you release all of those things, when you release the old, you can manifest things. You can manifest your desires. Because it's when you're like, it's like there's this photo that goes around, and this man is behind a jail, right? And so he sees a key on the other side, and he has his arm through the bars, and he's clenching onto that key, right? But because of his fist, when he's clenching onto that key, his fist cannot, go through the bars. And this metaphor might not be exactly how it's shown on the picture, but it's like if he just lets go and realizes that the door is unlocked already, if he just lets go of his fist, he'll realize that he's free. He can move on, right? So we need to unclench our fists and release what is no longer serving us. Because that's when, the lives that we want, the type of person we want to be, that's where we're able to grow. Play. Your shadow self wants you to do more play. And since the first message is about compassion, I feel like you might be too hard on yourself sometimes. You need to do more stuff that's more playful. You need to let things roll off your back. You need to have more fun. Like, what is it that you enjoy doing? That's fun, that brings out the child inside of you. Is it the zoo? Is it going to the beach? Is it, you might be an adult now, but is it going to the park and going on the swings? Your shadow self is wanting you to do more play. To not take life too seriously. Boundaries. I feel like you might need to put up some healthy boundaries as well. With the compassion card, since that was your first card, I feel like when, as I mentioned, when things don't go your way, you're hard on yourself. And so maybe because of that, you let people walk all over you, because you don't want conflict, you don't want confrontation. And when you put up healthy boundaries, that's a way of loving yourself. It's okay to not want to do something. It's okay to not want to like something. It's okay to not do what everyone else is doing. So putting up healthy boundaries is something that your shadow self is urging you to do. And I admit, in the past, I needed to work on this as well. I think a lot of us do. Take risk. I feel like you might be the type of person who plays it safe. When it comes to making choices, especially if it's something you think might change your life in a great way, you might, stay home or just make the decision to something you think is a little bit safer, not as risky. And your shadow self is wanting you to take more risk. Because like the goat, as you can see, when you take risk and you climb up that mountain, you can see the whole world. You can see more possibilities, and more possibilities can come your way. You're not confined to, you know, the lower part of the mountain where you can't, like, your vantage point isn't very big. So take more risks. Versatility. I feel like your shadow self wants you to just to go within more and find your genuine self, to love yourself for who you are. Because no one is perfect. Everyone, you know, everyone has aspects of themselves that they don't necessarily like and are working on, but you need to be patient and compassionate with that part of you as well. The wildling. This is all about, as I mentioned before, going within and finding out who you really are and loving you for who you are genuinely. For, you know, loving yourself ultimately, no matter what, no matter who challenges you. If you like just for a silly example, if you like the color blue and someone confronts you and challenges you and says, well, the color blue is ugly, purple is better, you know, then no matter what, you need to just stand your ground and be like, well, blue is for me, so let's just agree to disagree. Okay. Let's see. Underworld. So with Underworld, sometimes when we are doing the shadow work, or if we need to do the shadow work, we sometimes feel like we're in an underworld, right? We're walking in the dark. We're confined and bound to the things we aren't happy with, but we need to release that. So your shadow self wants you to release old paradigms, old things that you are still revisiting in your subconscious that you're thinking about or daydreaming about. The past is the past. You need to be present now. Live in the present. Okay? All right, guys, that is your message for today. These are the messages from your shadow self. I hope that helps and resonates. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'm sending love and positive vibes your way. Bye. Hello, Pile 2. If you chose Pile 2, this is your reading. These will be the messages from your shadow self, okay? So let's see what the first message is all about. Power. Nice. So I feel like your shadow self, I feel like you let your ego in maybe a little bit too often. Like, you want power, you want control. And that's not necessarily a bad thing sometimes, but I feel like sometimes as much power or control that you want in your life, sometimes it hinders you. It's like when people call other people like, you're a control freak, right? It's like too much of one thing can be bad. And so you might be someone who does this, who wants control and power with every aspect of your life, and especially when it comes to relationships or home life, or even if like at your work, you can't necessarily do that. It's all about teamwork and, compromise. So I feel like your shadow self wants you to release some of that power, to work on that aspect of yourself. So let's see what else is coming up for you, okay, pile 2. The Explorer. So I feel like your shadow self wants you to explore more possibilities, and to explore your inner self, to explore not only like your brain mind, right? Like your analytical mind, but also your heart. Explore who you really are. Like, what drives you? Yeah. Explore. And if you're wondering, like, how am I going to do this? When you go into nature, or you meditate, or you just take some moment, like a moment of silence in the shower, or while you're lying in bed, waking up, when you contemplate and you ask yourself, like truly ask yourself, like, who are you? What drives you? I feel like your shadow self wants you to do more exploring of who you are. And get creative. Like, maybe you're someone who's artistic and you haven't done that in forever. Be creative. And it doesn't even have to be art, right? You can be creative in music. You can be creative in writing. Ask yourself, explore, ask yourself, how can I be more creative? It could also be, being, like sharing messages online, or, donating your time and making things for people. Some people donate, handmade cards or whatever. So your shadow self wants you to be more creative. The Pillars. I feel like your shadow self wants you to ground more. You see how these roots are growing up onto this like foundation, these pillars. Ground yourself more so you're more stable. And I also feel like this might pertain to like a relationship with yourself, right? There's 2 snakes here. There's 2 pillars. So yeah, I feel like your shadow self is calling you to go to do more inner work, to lay out the foundations of who you are. Because when you're not driven from power, then you're kind of like, well, now what, right? So you need to go within and what do you and what does your soul like truly want to do, and what does your soul desire? And this goes with the exploring in that aspect and being more creative. When you're more creative, you're kind of opening more doors to things to flow into your life. The observer. So another way that you can evaluate all of this is to try to put yourself, to try to look at everything from a third party's perspective, to become the observer of your life. And I know I mentioned this a couple of times, but to be able to do that is to be still, be in quiet, meditate, or just sit there in silence and see what comes to you. You'll be amazed what comes to you. And you may think, oh, you know, it's just my imagination, but it may not be. It may be from your inner self, your higher self, spirit, your guides, trying to guide you, trying to direct you to the answers that you have questions to. Because see, you are the creator. You are the creator of your life. Great, get curious. This sort of goes along with get creative. Like, get curious. Like, what kind of things do you want to explore? What kind of things do you want to do? Like, what does your soul desire? I feel like this goes along with the explorer too, though. Like, get out of your comfort zone. The universe. This kind of ties with the creator. You ultimately are the creator of your world. You are the universe. Okay, you are never alone, and you have the answers. Because I know sometimes it's hard to let go of the ego, right? To let go of the power and the control. But for a moment you might feel lost, right? But you have the answers within. Okay, pile 2. You have the answers. Okay, so those are the messages that are coming in. I hope that helps and resonates. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm sending love and positive vibes your way. Bye. Hello, pile 3. If you chose pile 3, these are the messages from your shadow self, okay? So let's see what your first card says. The Weaver. I feel like your shadow self wants you to release old binds, to release old paradigms and contracts, to sever what is no longer serving you. You're holding on to something, I feel. What are you holding on to? Are you holding on to the past? Are you holding on to an old relationship that's no longer serving you? Let go of what is no longer helping you, letting you grow. So let's see what else there is for you. What other messages does your shadow self want you to know right now? the void. You're feeling a void within yourself with things that doesn't necessarily fill it. Some people fill voids within them with superficial relationships. Some people fill the void with food. Some people fill the void with TV and addictions. And your shadow self wants you to know that those things will not completely fill that void. You need to go within yourself and know, when you know your passion and when you know who you are, your passions are usually the ones that help fill that void. And sometimes those passions may not be of the norm, right? So I know for me, I had like a void, and so I was sort of filling that void with exploring spirituality. So I was going to church at like a Christian church, which isn't bad, right? But so we do things to try to fill the void, and we ultimately are the ones who are able to fill that void, to fill our own cups. How? You need to ground. You need to do what stirs you up, that lights your fire, whether that's, acts of service or exercise can even help you fill your void, making you feel, alive. So your shadow self wants you to know to stop filling the void with things that are superficial, it's only like a temporary fix. Transmute. Because it's time for change. It's time for transformation. Release old things so you can evolve, so you can transform to who you know you are meant to be. Because ultimately we have the answers to our questions. We tend to look outside of ourselves, but we have the answers. You just have to listen. The thing about it is, like, society nowadays wants us to keep, to work, or keep going and get, engulfed in TV and programs. But when we sit in silence and we actually listen to ourselves, like our soul, those answers will come. And your shadow self wants you to know that you need to start doing that. It's a time for a change. It's time for transformation. And be patient with yourself. Pile 3, you need to be more patient with yourself, especially through transformation. Sometimes through transformation, it's kind of like you're in the dark. You don't know where to go or what you're doing. And while in that, you need to just be patient with yourself. Be patient with the things you aren't happy with yourself too, with your shadow self. Be patient and be a little bit more compassionate. Because see, the Magi, you have all the answers. Yes, see, release what is no longer serving you, pile 3. Let go, leap, Go with the leap of faith. You see this frog jumping from this leaf, and with that, like, trust. This frog's got this like light aura. Release what is no longer serving you. Love. Yes. Patience. Love. Your shadow self wants you to express more love within yourself. You might be hard on yourself at times, especially with the things that you aren't happy with, like the things that you regret, you aren't happy with yourself. Show more love with every aspect of yourself, because we're not just this physical body, we're multidimensional beings, and we've got so many aspects of ourselves. We need to love every single aspect, every particle of who we are. We're so complex. Dare to dream. Your shadow self wants you to dream more. What are your dreams? What are your passions? When you release the old, you let these things in. Ask yourself, like, if you could do anything without any limits, what would it be? Ultimately, like, deep down, whatever that answer is probably your purpose. So I feel like your shadow self is also daring you to, like, challenge yourself. Give yourself a goal, and, like, what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do? What lights you up, pile 3? All right, so that is it for now. That's all the messages that I feel is coming out. I hope that helps and resonates. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I'm sending love and positive vibes your way. Bye.